Hey Fiber Arts, I'm going to show you how to adjust the tension on your machine if you start to see issues with how the stitches are showing up on your practice pieces. So the practice piece, how to make it, is in a separate video, so be sure that you check that out first and make your piece. But this is my practice piece. And so what I would do when I get my machine set up before I start sewing on my project is use this to play with different stitches and also just to make sure everything is seemingly working right with my machine. So I'm going to turn you around. Sorry, I'm going to adjust it here. Nope. Okay, that's gonna have to do. So here's my practice piece. Gonna lift up, or the presser foot lever is already up. I insert my practice piece, put the presser foot lever down, and I'm set to do a straight stitch. Okay. And I'm gonna just hit the pedal, my foot pedal with my foot, and just go ahead and do a stitch. I'm just gonna do a couple of inches. I'm gonna make sure that the needle is in the upright position, which is also the same as saying that the take-up lever is in the upright position. And I did that by turning the hand wheel, so I can just show you that. I'm always turning it toward me also. Okay, so both are in the upright position. So now I'm gonna lift up that presser foot lever, take out the piece from underneath the presser foot and cut my threads away. There's my first one. If I want to, I can also try out the zigzag stitch. I'm going to just show you that right now. Same thing, presser foot back down. I'm gonna change my stitch width over to 5. So I'm gonna have a nice wide zigzag. And with that, I can just start sewing again. And I start to get a zigzag stitch. So now I can look at my stitches and I can see, does everything look right? So let's see. What I'm testing to see, I've got black thread on the top and I have magenta thread on the bottom in my bobbin. So I want to see that they're showing up in the right places. When I have correct tension, I should see only my top thread on the top of my practice piece, which is true right now. If I flip it over to the back, I should see only my bobbin thread and not the top thread showing up. So what I can tell right now, if you look really closely, is that there's a little, see that okay? There's a little bit of black thread showing up on the back of my piece, which means that my tension ought to be adjusted. Typically, once you get your tension set, at least for straight stitching and basic stitches, you probably don't need to change it again. So this might only be like a couple time thing for you, we'll see. So what that means, here's a diagram for you. What that means is I need to adjust my tension. And so there's often two issues that might come up. If you don't have correct tension where the top thread and the bobbin thread are showing up on the top and the back respectively of your practice piece, you might see one of these things. If the bobbin thread is showing up on the top, that means your tension's too tight. It's pulling up that bottom thread up to the top. So just change the number of your tension. So the lower the number, the lower the tension, the higher the number, the tighter the tension. Problem B would be, which is what I'm experiencing, that the top tension is too loose, which means that my top thread I can see on the back of my piece. So all I need to do is tighten the top tension. I want you to just tighten that tension. Here's our tension knob. one number at a time until you test it out and you can tell that it's in a good spot. So I would start off with 5, which is your kind of like default tension where the red is going to line up. I already tested this at 6, found I still had the same issue, and at 7 is when I had the best tension for this particular setup. So I'm going to make that adjustment and just show you kind of the results of that. And remember, I already tested it at the 6. So I'm going to do my zigzag. Oops, need to make sure I'm in the right position. Clip. Okay. And I'm gonna do my straight stitch, putting my stitch width back to 0. So a few inches. Put the needle and the take up lever in the upright position using the hand wheel. Pull off, clip. And then I can see that my tension still looks good on the front and it looks much better on the back. I don't have any of that. Oh, you couldn't really see that. The tension looks much better on the front. I only have my black thread on the front, or I should say the top, and then on the bottom I only have the bobbin thread showing up this magenta. So now my tension has been adjusted and I'm ready to keep sewing.